So why is German deemed to be so ugly by the English? All right, usually it is. Julie Burchill, in her famous essay, Thinking the Worst, worst spelled W-U-R-S-T, what a great pun, Julie, calls it pig of a language, okay, German. It's because of these consonant clusters. Yeah? Consonant clusters, which means a lot of consonants in a row. German words like, yes, der Strumpf. Okay. Okay. Well, who can pronounce that? All I want to say here is, yes, the language of Wagner and Mozart and, I don't know, Schubert, yeah, is probably ugly. Okay. But still, it's not more ugly than Beowulf's language, or Chaucer's for that matter. Okay, because Chaucer still had all these consonant clusters, which you deem so ugly today, and why you think German is such a ugly language. Okay, that's an ugly language, because of these consonant clusters. They were reduced, most of them, only after Chaucer's time. Okay, because people tend to, when consonants clash quite a lot, you tend to just elide one to make it more mellifluous. Okay, that's the word. German didn't do it. Okay, so we still kept track. The English were a bit more sloppy and just left out the consonants they wanted to. Okay, here we go. This I would like to talk about now. Okay, cluster simplification, which plays a big role in the history of the English language. Let's turn to the first one. Loss of initial w, the bilabial semi vowel before r. So you have still in spelling a lot of words starting with r, okay, without the w being spelled, of course. Take this one here, return. Okay, the cluster is reduced. Okay, so which means the W is just left out. Okay, somewhere in early Middle English, probably a bit later. It's a question whether Chaucer still pronounced it. Okay, and then Rita. Rita is the result of L13. Okay, lengthened in the 13th century, and then it goes into great vowel shift and becomes right. Okay, the same with rang. Okay, rang, cluster reduction. Okay, it becomes wrong in Middle English, and in modern English we still have wrong. So this sort of r must have been perceived as being rather difficult to pronounce, so just leave the first W out. Okay, more examples here. Retcha. Okay, Old English retcha becomes in early Middle English wretch. Okay, wretch. And then on the way somewhere, the W is lost, kicked out, and it becomes retche. And today we have wretch. Okay, here we go. Or another example from Anglo-Norman. Anglo-Norman, of course, a lot of words from the Normans came into the English language. Anglo-Norman here, wreck. Okay, wreck. Okay, wreck. In modern English, wreck, because cluster reduction, bilabial, semivowel left out. Okay, so this explains, all these silent W's you still have in English. More examples of cluster reduction. Okay, K before N, we talked about this. But here again in more detail. In Old English, you said knicht, probably knicht or knicht, not quite sure here. Which became knicht in Chaucer's time, so probably a bit earlier, knicht. Okay, and then we have the old story, elision of the fricative, we talked about this, compensatory lengthening, yes, and cluster reduction, kn, it turns into need, and then into the great vowel shift. And in modern English you have night. Okay, night. Yeah, this is a case in point. Yeah? Of course, night is more mellifluous than the German Knecht. It's the same word. And you used to pronounce it like that once. It's not our fault. Okay? That the English messed up their language. No, I'm just being facetious here. Okay? But sometimes it just gets on your nerves. Yeah? Julie, pig of a language. Well, if you want. Okay, Knawan. Yeah, Knawan. Old English. Early Middle English, Knawe. Okay, Knawe. And then cluster reduction, Nawe. Okay. And then on the way somewhere, the second W is left out as well, or turned into a mere vowel. Yeah. After the great vowel shift, it comes out as no, but we still write Kno. Yeah, Kno is the spelling, and we pronounce it no. Knockian. Okay, Knockian, onomatopoetic, Knockian, yeah, knock, Knockian. But then again, I mean, knock is much more onomatopoetic, yeah, the knock. But then again, they left the k out and knock, which is very onomatopoetic, knock. Particularly with the Anglo-Saxons. Imagine how many knocks they made. Whatever, yeah, knock today. So cluster reduction. Okay, the homogenic, homogenic clusters. You know what homogenic is, which means there is a nasal and prosounder at the same place, in your mouth as the succeeding consonant, plosive. Okay, and ng. I'm sorry, and these two, of course, don't exist anymore in modern English. Once they were there, and then something happened. Let's turn to this first. And since they are so close, it's much easier to leave one out. Okay, so the b was left out. Cluster reduction. We had lamb once. Lamb, probably Middle English lamb. Modern English we have lamb without the b. Cluster reduction. We still spell it. Or going further back, Klimban. Klimban became, went into L9. Okay, we had that. Became Klimb. And then somewhere on the way, cluster reduction. Klima. Klim. And then into the great vowel shift. And today we have climb. Okay. Or, not quite sure. From the old French, probably tombe. Something like this, tombe. Tombe, Old French, into L9 become tombe, tombe. And then cluster reduction, tombe becomes tom, goes into the great vowel shift. And today we have tomb. We still spell tombe. We still spell tom. Bomb is a similar case. The b in bomb. Okay, another one. Ng becomes ng. Yes, and one footnote before we go there is ng, of course. The ng, the velar nasal, is of course there by assimilation. Okay, we know this. I mean, first of all, there must have been an assimilation of ng becomes ng, but this is in prehistoric times, probably in Germanic still you had. This is the case here. Senguan. Whether they said Senguan or Senguan, not quite sure. But, I mean, in historic times we know, the n had been assimilated to g. So in Old English, this thing becomes singan. Okay? And then, in early Middle English and Old English, singan, and then Middle English sing, and then somewhere on the way, the g, the plosive, is elided, assimilated, merged, whatever you like. It's gone. Okay, and it becomes sing. Okay, Germanic stingan, same thing. Stingan, Old English sting, and then sting. Okay, brangyanan, whatever, bringan, bring, and then bring. Okay, all right. Tungo, tunge, probably, tung, tung, and then strut sound, tongue today. Okay, right. Loss after ng is elusive in the middle of words. This is what I want to say. I mean, why do we say singer and why do we say finger? Probably it's because of sing. Yeah, sing, no go, and then singer, no go as well. But it's elusive, and you can say today, you can say England or England. I would say England, but it's probably because I'm so conservative. Okay, England or England, English or English. But this, the morpheme ing, and the two realizations, I think you can't read it here, but anyway, ing and in. Okay, this is what people usually spell with an apostrophe here. In, yeah, go in. Which is, and I like to dispense with some, I don't know, false notions here. Okay, singing, yeah, instead of singing, which is deemed today as being substandard. Yeah, okay, but it is no G dropping, whatever my colleagues tell you. I mean G dropping. No, it's no G dropping. It's just a different ending, historically speaking. Okay, it derives from the Old English morphemes end. Okay, or end. And still, it would be helpful if you knew German. Ja, singend. Ich bin singend. That's exactly the sin. I am singing. Singend. Yeah, it's the morpheme, we still have it. And this morpheme, yeah, was turned into in. Okay, so it's etymologically the participle, yeah, which we still have singend in German, or you had it, yeah, singend, yeah, in Old English times, some dialects even in Middle English. Okay, the ing, on the other hand, is the old gerund. Okay, in a word, in a combination like his singing is bad. Yeah, the gerund, and this has become the standard for the participle, but etymologically so. Okay, in a way, singing is more correct, historically speaking. I'm singing than I'm singing. Okay. All I want to say here, it's two different morphemes. Nothing is elided, no G is being dropped, and we, strictly speaking, would never need an apostrophe here. Why? Why an apostrophe? Doesn't make any sense at all. Okay. So, yes, just etymologically speaking, two different morphemes, endings. Okay. One became the standard, ing, for better OS. One slipped into the substandard, where you still have it. Okay. We know 200 years ago, I mean, those two existed side by side, even in standard English. They did. It's only very recently that ing was considered to be more correct. Okay. Right. Okay, let's stop here. This was consonant clusters. There are more consonant clusters which I haven't talked about because, I mean, gnawing, gn, was elided as well, and some others, but I mean, those were the most important ones. Okay, reduction of articulatory efforts by reducing consonant clusters, which the ugly German language still has. But as an advantage, we can distinguish between the medieval night and the night outside, when it's dark. Nacht und Knecht. We can do it. You produce a lot of homophones. Okay, does a language want that? Yeah, well, Shakespeare did. He punned on those things. He did. Okay, I hope to make my point clear.